voz.
Boa noite, pessoal. Estamos começando mais um Resident TV, mais um Resident TV sobre Resident Evil 6 e essa é a edição número 47. Ainda estamos um pouquinho cansados da BGS, mas já estamos relaxando, né? Já estamos melhorando. Daqui a pouco a gente já tá, ó, zero bala, né? Como dizem por aí. O nosso programa hoje é muito especial, porque hoje a gente vai entrevistar o Liam O'Brien, que é o diretor de dublagem de Resident Evil 6. Mas antes da gente chamar ele, eu vou passar para vocês os nossos canais de comunicação. A gente tem o nosso Twitter, que é twitter.com/ResidentEvilDB. A gente tem também o nosso Facebook, que é facebook.com/ResidentEvilDatabase. Nós temos também o nosso e-mail, que é contato@residentevildatabase.com. E para mandar perguntas para o Liam, por favor, escrevam lá na nossa seção do Resident TV, a gente tem uma caixinha de mensagem lá, acessem residentevildatabase.com e mandem uma pergunta lá na seção do Resident TV, beleza? A gente está esperando as perguntas de vocês, tá? Então vamos lá, let's start our interview with the amazing Liam O'Brien. How are you, Liam?
Hi. I'm good, hi, thanks for having me here.
How are you tonight?
I'm real good tonight.
Good. Great. Well, Liam was telling us he haven't played Resident Evil 6 yet. He's going to play it tonight.
I've had a copy. I have one of the collector's editions waiting on a shelf, and after this interview, actually, I'm going to drive past my house, pick it up, and go to a good friend's house, and we're going to crack into the co-op so I can see how it plays. I spent years with the story, but I don't really know what to expect yet. I'm chomping at the bit.
All right. I'm gonna translate it to the people, ok? Bom, eu falei que, na verdade, ele estava contando pra gente hoje, antes de começar o programa, que ele não jogou o 6 ainda. Né? Ele vai jogar hoje à noite, porque lá, na verdade, ainda é à tarde, né? Então ele vai jogar hoje à noite, inclusive, detalhe, com o irmão da Eden Regal, com o Sam Regal, o irmão da Sherry Birkin. Eles vão jogar hoje Resident Evil 6 em co-op. Né, ele falou que ele passou muito tempo com a história, né, em contato com a história, mas que ele ainda não viu ainda no que deu, né? É isso aí. So Liam, before we start, I would like to know how is your experience with the Resident Evil series? Were you a fan of the franchise before working with it?
Definitely. I've been a gamer for a long time. When I was a kid, I had things like Atari and something even older called a Vectrex, and then I took a big break, and when I got back in was around the time of the PlayStation. And I went to school to be an actor, and afterwards I bounced around the United States doing theater jobs at theaters in different cities in the country. And I have very strong memories of being in Salt Lake City, Utah, here in the States, and rehearsing all day, and then just going back to my apartment that the theater had rented for me and playing Resident Evil 2, into the wee hours of the night, and living by myself and being a lot younger and playing this game that scared the pants off me. Now seems a little quaint, but at the time I was, playing like this, on a couch. And I followed it all the way up, and I've continued to game, and, I act and I write and I direct in the game industry now. The more that I work, the less time I have to play, but I'm still a gamer, and Resident Evil was, and probably even more so now, just because I'm so attached to it, is one of my favorite franchises of all time. And so when I got tapped back on 5 to come in as a voice director, it was a dream come true. I was totally terrified to take on the challenge of it, but it's one of the best best decisions I've ever made, and it's only gotten better. And I'm looking forward to more and more of it.
Great. And before you started to work on the series as the voiceover director in Resident Evil 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
You haven't worked before in Resident Evil 4 or Umbrella Chronicles?
No. I played Resident Evil 4 and loved it, but 5 was the first thing that I'd done anything on. Both, zombie work, and I played the poor fellow who gets his head lopped off early in the game. And since then, and on that first one, I think you probably know this, but I wasn't the only voiceover director. Stephanie Shea, who's another actor and director here in Los Angeles, she and I split the duty. for that game, and I've just stuck with it because I love the series so much.
Yeah, Stephanie's great. We had an interview with her, and she's great, and she's short like me, and that makes me feel a lot better.
She's one of my best friends. She's very short, and often when I go to acting jobs around town, I'll walk in and the mic will be set near my belly button, and I'll know that she's been there just before me.
I'm gonna translate to the people, ok? Bom, pessoal, eu perguntei para ele qual era a experiência dele como fã, né, da série antes, né, e ele falou que já era fã da série, que o jogo que ele jogou primeiro foi o 2, né, então ele jogava, apesar dos gráficos serem meio precários na época, mas hoje, né, precário, mas na época era aquela coisa, né, era aquele jogo assustador, e ele jogava assim, né, no sofá, morrendo de medo, e aí a gente comentou, né, eu perguntei se ele começou a trabalhar no 5, né, ele falou que ele jogou também o 4, mas que foi no 5 mesmo que ele começou a trabalhar com a direção de dublagem da série, e ele disse que ele trabalhou com a Stephanie Sheh, que é também, ela também é diretora de dublagem, ela trabalhou no Resident Evil 5, trabalhou no Revelations, trabalhou, se eu não me engano, ela trabalhou no Operation Raccoon City, vou confirmar com ele daqui a pouco, e eu falei que a gente entrevistou ela uma vez e ela é baixinha, ela é pequenininha que nem eu, assim, quem me viu lá no VGS sabe que eu sou um cotoco, é isso aí, e ele falou que ela bate aqui, assim, né, e isso me fez me sentir, sabe, muito bem, ó. Cool. Cool to know she's short like me.
I like giving her, I can get away with it because she's one of my better friends here in town, but I like giving her a hard time about
it. Yeah. You worked with Resident Evil 5, Resident Evil Revelations. Please correct me if I'm wrong, please.
Well, Revelations, which is the 3DS, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah, that one, I had a lot to do with casting that one, but Stephanie actually did all the voice directing on Revelations.
Yeah, we did the interview with her at the time of Revelations launch. And you did Operation Raccoon City, and then Resident Evil 6.
Right. Also, somewhere in there was Resident Evil Darkside Chronicles, which was before Revelations. But yeah, that's the sum of the RE games I've worked on.
Yeah, I think it was after Resident Evil 5, right?
Mm-hmm.
Darkside Chronicles, okay. And then Sam Riegel worked on the Darkside Chronicles.
Yes, that's Steve Burnside. We laughed before 6 came out. You know, everyone always speculates, oh, who's that guy in the trailer? Who's that? And we laughed our butts off. Everyone thought that the J character was Steve Burnside, somehow back from the dead. And someone put his name on IMDb as it, and he's like, what do I do? I can't talk about the game, it's not out. I'm like, just gotta let it sit there.
Yeah. Bom, pessoal, a gente estava comentando sobre os jogos que ele trabalhou, né? Ele disse, inclusive, que a Stephanie Sheh é uma das melhores amigas dele. Ele trabalhou no 5, ele trabalhou no Revelations na parte de escolha de elenco, mas quem fez a direção de dublagem no Revelations foi a Stephanie Sheh. Ele trabalhou no Operation Raccoon City, trabalhou no 6 e ele trabalhou no Darkside também com o Sam Riegel, que é irmão da Eden. Olha como o mundo é pequenininho, né? Ele trabalhou com o irmão da Eden, ele fez Steve, né, e tal. E que o Sam não podia falar, né, sobre o personagem. Como sempre, always these NDA agreements are very, very cruel with us, right?
Yeah. It's the new reality in 2012 and beyond. Everything is shrouded in secrecy, and everyone keeps their firewalls up. And so we sit on the inside, and people might speculate, and you can't confirm, and you can't deny, because even if you deny, or you always are going to spill something even accidentally. And I get it. It spoils some of the surprise on opening day.
Yeah. All right. We have a question here. Our first question is from Jessica Pinheiro, and she said she just ended up to finish all the 3 main campaigns of the game, so she congratulates for the amazing work with the voice acting. The characters are very they're very we get connected to them, and she would like to know how it was to work with Christopher Emerson, because she is very very satisfied with Chris's campaign. She ended up crying like a baby at the end of it, and Piers just became one of her favorite characters. So, can you tell us how it was to work with Christopher and the process to make all that dramatic horror scene from the ending of Chris's campaign?
Sure. I hadn't ever met Chris before the auditions. We auditioned for that role specifically. Some we knew early on. Some people were returning. Some people were changes, that kind of thing. But for Piers, it was a new character, and we had to find somebody. So we had auditions in Los Angeles, and a lot of people auditioned. I listened to a lot of sound files and brought in like the best 10, my favorite 10, and then they sort of duked it out. And he really rose to the top, and his voice just really, I thought, matched up well with the character design and how the character ended up looking. And he was great. A lot of the people in the cast have a lot of experience doing video games, many video games, and we all know each other from working together on different projects. And while Chris has done a lot of voiceover work, and he has worked on other games, I'm pretty sure, I don't think I'm speaking out of turn to say that this was sort of the biggest role to date that he had, or like a very challenging one. And so with some of the other actors are like, oh yeah, I've seen this before. Okay, I know what to do, or this again. But with Chris, he really took everything with sort of a fresh attack, and he was like happy to be there and eager to dig into it. And it was great. It was great to see him find the role. And I mean, it's one of my favorites in the game. He did a really excellent job. And at the end, how did he and I come to his great performance at the end? I mean, there's a lot of chefs in this kitchen, a lot of people working together to make these cutscenes as brilliant as they are. I mean, Ken and Nori, who are our two cinematic directors, have an amazing director's eye for action and for story, and they created these amazing cinematics. And then we had great actors on the mocap stage, and then Chris is a great actor. All the voice actors I helped find for the game are amazing actors. I really wanted to go all out on this, and I'm proud to say that we did. And I have a good ear. So you take all those people working together, and that's how we came to what I think are some pretty stellar results. If you have great actors but not a great director, or if you have a great director and some bad actors, or the cinematics are kind of wonky or stilted, then if there's one piece of the puzzle that doesn't fit, then it can kind of tremble out through everything. But we had the best coming in from every direction on this project.
Have you chosen all the voiceover actors and actresses for Resident Evil 6, or was Capcom who did that?
Capcom made the ultimate decision, but I made sure that the people that they were picking from were really strong options. So they didn't get into the nitty gritty of going out and listening to 200 people per role and auditioning 10 or 20 people again. Just Cause and I slogged through a lot of that, and then I pulled out. And I always had my favorites, and I think Capcom and I agreed in full. But I made sure that the handful of options they had to pick from were strong.
Oh yeah, and I have a little a question about it. At the time you were looking for the voiceover actors, and Sally Cahill did Ada Wong for Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 4. And Dark Side Chronicles, yeah, she did for Dark Side Chronicles. And but she didn't work on Umbrella Chronicles and Operation Raccoon City and Resident Evil 6. Have you been in contact with her and she was busy at the moment, or you just said no, we're gonna pick up someone else? Well, Courtney Taylor.
That one wasn't my call. I know she's in Canada, so I think that was a large factor. I think the direction that games as a whole are going, or certainly the top tier games, it's a little hard when someone's coming in from a phone patch. You know, we're really, really involved. We did a whole, what we called a video storyboard, where actors got into costume and makeup and they performed the whole thing. Then they mocapped it. Then we did the voiceover, and everyone who did the voice, it wasn't just their audio track. We were also, their faces were dotted up so we could get their expression to go along with the voice. So I don't know. I know that when we first started talking, it was just said, okay, we're going to find a voice for this character, and this character. So that wasn't my ultimate decision, but I would assume, and I'm just assuming, but that the fact that she's not here, I think there was a real push to have everyone present and on set and in the booth instead of coming over the phone. Okay,
yeah. When she worked on the Dark Side Chronicles, did she go to the studio?
No, but that was less involved. I mean, that game does not have the cinematics in 6 are a whole other level. I mean, those were pre-rendered scenes. They were animated, and you know, the cutscenes for 6 are on a cinematic level. And so just having a voice laid into a pre-animated character model, I think you can get away with it there, but you're not going to get the same sort of locked-in precision that you get from mocap and from dotting up a voice actor's face in person.
All right.
The real answer is I don't know. I'm just giving you guesses.
All right, no problem.
We didn't phone patch anybody in, and it can be tricky too. I mean, sometimes it works, and sometimes you're talking to someone in a studio in another country, and everything just stops. You don't hear them anymore, so you lose a lot of time that way, and it can be problematic. So that might have been factored in, but bottom line.
All right. Gonna translate to the people. Bom, resumindo, pessoal, porque foi uma longa conversa que a gente teve aqui. A pergunta da GG Pinheiro era que ela tinha falado que ela tinha acabado de zerar as 3 campanhas. Parabenizou ele pelo trabalho de dublagem. Disse que os personagens estão muito cativantes. Gostaria de saber em especial como foi trabalhar com o Christopher Emerson. E ele disse que o Christopher Emerson, assim, eles escolheram Eles escolheram, por exemplo, 10 ali, né? E aí, desses 10, o Christopher Emerson foi o que mais se destacou. E aí, pegou o papel, porque ele falou que todos eles já tinham feito alguma coisa na série. Mas o Christopher Emerson, para fazer o Pierce, era inédito, né? Ele tava começando na série, né? E fez maravilhosamente bem, tanto que é um dos favoritos do Liam O'Brien. E ele disse que toda a parte, né, de dramaticidade também ajudou muito, né? Os próprios diretores de cinematics, que são o Ken O'Hara e o Masanori Kobayashi, que são lá da Just Cause Productions, são ótimos, deram entrevista pra gente, ajudaram muito nesse processo. E aí eu perguntei pra ele, porque essa é uma dúvida que eu sempre tive, em relação a chamar dublador de volta pra série. E ele falou que, na verdade, na questão da Sally, como ela tá no Canadá, isso acaba interferindo um pouco, porque às vezes perde-se muito tempo por telefone tentando gravar. E como no 6 eles precisavam captar também os movimentos faciais, né, as expressões faciais, não dava para simplesmente incluir a voz dela ali, jogar a voz dela, como aconteceu no Dark Side, porque já era animado, né? No Dark Side tudo bem, mas realmente...
E a participação era muito mais curta do que
sim,
vocês,
com certeza, uma campanha inteira.
Fora os cross com as outras campanhas.
Exatamente. Mas ele falou que não sabe, ele especulou, né? E claro, a decisão final sempre é da Capcom, tá? Sempre. Quem escolhe no fim é a Capcom. Another question here from, let's see. It's from Silvio Domingues da Silva. He's from São Paulo, Brazil, and he's asking, how was it to extract from Helena's voiceover actress, Laura Bailey, that scream she gave when Deborah is taken by Derek's staff?
I wondered if we'd talk about that. In fact, that was rolling around in my head just now while you were translating. And, it's hard for me to pick a favorite cast member from the game because they're like, it's like picking your favorite child. Can't do it. But I definitely can pick my favorite moment from directing the voiceover on the whole game, and that was it. And I've known Laura Bailey played Helena Harper. I've known Laura for several years, and I knew Laura was an extremely talented voice actor from the first time I directed her on an anime project years ago. I didn't know her. She was still she had only moved here from another state fairly recently, and I only had her do small parts, but she came in and she nailed it. I mean, some people get voiceover, some people don't, and Laura just gets it. And that scene is a hard one. So, sometimes when we work on these scenes, we chip away at things and we try to, we explore and we craft it till it's we feel like we found it. And so for that scene, I was a little nervous about it. Not nervous about Laura's ability because she's one of the best in the business, but just, it's emotionally demanding and she has to scream. And I'm an actor myself. I know that how hard it can be to go in on a Call of Duty game and just scream and scream and scream, and you walk out and you have no voice afterwards. So I was a little nervous about it because I didn't want to make her do it over and over and over again to get the right one. And plus, it's not just the voice. She has to match with a certain amount of accuracy to the motion of the motion capture footage that we had. So every time she jerks her head, her voice needs to sort of carry that a little bit. It's an ADR, matching a picture. Lending your voice to a picture that exists already is a very tricky skill that not a lot of actors can nail. And we did that moment of her in the chair 2 times. And I went with her first take. She absolutely nailed it. And she took about 30 seconds just to think about what she was doing before we set action. And she went, and I can't remember a moment as a director where I've been more blown away by my talent. And if she sees this, that's true. So it was extremely gratifying and also easy for me because I probably could have just taken a nap under the desk that day. It was a beautiful performance to watch happen in real time, and it's one of my favorite scenes in the game. And just I can't pick a favorite cast member because I really was working with great people on all sides, but that moment is my favorite in the game.
Yeah, that was amazing. And did anyone cry at the moment you were recording that scene?
Well, she did. And I didn't cry, but my heart kind of went and stuck right there during it. I mean, I knew it was going to be good on the first take. I didn't think that we'd be done. I thought, maybe I'll have to tell her to speed up at this one part just so it matches the timing better. Maybe she won't finish this line on time and it'll have cut away from her. Or maybe I'll need to just adjust her performance just a little bit. And it was perfect the first time. And the second time was good too, but her instincts were in place right from the word go. So yeah, heart and throat.
Yeah. There is a joke here in Brazil. I don't know if it's valid there in the United States or somewhere else, but we have a little joke here in Brazil at the Resident Evil community that we always make pictures of something went wrong, and then we say it's Helena's fault.
Prior to Resident Evil 6, this is a saying?
Because of the trailer. Yeah, it's all my fault. I did this. Did you know that or not?
No, I had not. I thought you were saying even further back, like we have a saying from the last 50 years that... No, I didn't know it.
It's very funny because we just pick a picture and, for example, an explosion, and then we say it's all Helena's fault.
Right. My burrito's not cooked all the way through. Helena's fault. Economy's in the dumper. Helena's fault.
Yeah, if something goes wrong in this interview, Helena's fault.
Right,
Don't forget it.
Skype farts out on us. Helena's fault.
All right, translating to the people. Bom, a pergunta era uma pergunta do Silvio Domingues da Silva. Ele perguntou como foi extraída a dubladora da Helena, que é a Laura Bailey, o grito que ela dá quando a Deborah é levada pelos sequestradores do Derek, né? E ele disse que a Laura, assim, ele não pode escolher uma pessoa, um dos atores, né, para ser o favorito dele, porque é como escolher um dos filhos, né? Mas que a Laura sempre foi muito talentosa, ele trabalhou com ela um tempo atrás em um projeto de anime, e foi uma cena incrível. Ele estava nervoso para fazer a cena, porque ele ficou preocupado de, né, ficar perdendo a voz e ficar repetindo a mesma coisa. Então eles fizeram 2 vezes a cena. E que na hora, né, eu perguntei até se o pessoal chorou. Ele falou que ela chorou e que, né, o coração dele foi parar na garganta. Né? E aí a gente brincou daquele meme, né, tudo culpa da Helena. Né? E ele falou que não sabia. Aí a gente começou a brincar. Então, se acontecer tal coisa, culpa da Helena. Tal coisa, culpa da Helena. E se o Skype cair, é culpa da Helena. Se der algum problema nessa entrevista, culpa da Helena. There's another question here from Silvio Domingues, and he's asking, what were you expecting from the work of the brand new actors, voiceover actors, to the voice acting staff? And how was it to work with those who were at the franchise before?
Are we talking about Leon, Ada, and possibly Sherry then?
No, we're talking about the actors.
But I mean, are you talking about the roles that have been played by one actor in the past and we now brought in a new actor? Or?
Yeah. For example, how was it to bring a brand new actor to the franchise, like Christopher Emerson or Troy Baker, for example?
Oh, just brand new actors who've never been in the franchise before.
Yeah.
Oh, but not great. I mean, I thought you were asking me, was it weird, trying to establish our new Ada Wong, that kind of thing. As far as working with Troy or Roger, I mean, most of the actors that I brought in, I knew already. I knew their abilities and had them in mind. Like Laura Bailey I had in mind for a year before we started voiceover recording. But I like actors. I've been an actor since I was 14. Started in theater and been lucky to be in this universe as an actor and now a director for a decade. And I've never gotten over my love of rehearsal and playing around and it's as simple as saying I like make-believe, but we do it on such an epic scale. So it's always a pleasure. I mean, actors can sometimes be some of the most charming people you'll ever meet, and we're not digging dishes. It's a lot of fun to pretend like you're on top of an aircraft carrier dodging a 200-foot tall monster, or in a cabin, getting your romance on while zombies surround the building. So I don't know. I mean, I don't want to gild the lily, but that's why I keep coming back to directing. I love acting, and I'm never going to give it up. But I like spending time with other actors and carving out scenes. And this game in particular was extremely rewarding. In large part because Capcom entrusted me with so much and gave me so much to work with. I mean, I worked on this game way before recording started. I didn't write the game, but I was part of a small team that came in and we sort of went over the dialogue and made suggestions and said, this really works, or we made suggestions. And then even when we started recording stuff for in-game you know, I kind of had my fingers in that as well. And, you know, I've known the story for this game for a long time. So, oh boy, I'm losing track of my thought. But, you know, the basic answer is that it's a joy. I'm very lucky to be working for Capcom on these games and just to have the career that I do. And I was lucky to have the cast that I got.
Yeah, you worked on Resident Evil 5 as a voiceover actor too, right? You did Reynard Fisher.
Right, as well as I know I did some zombies sprinkled in there. I'm zombies sprinkled throughout 6 as well. I'm a survivor somewhere in there, and I think my favorite thing that I did besides directing the game is I did the motion capture for the Lepotitsa.
Really?
Yeah. So I didn't do the voice. The voice actor for that was Mary Elizabeth McGlynn, another actor-director, very, very good actor and director named Mary Elizabeth. So we have been joined in unholy matrimony on that character.
For God's sake, Mary Elizabeth McGlynn worked as Lepotitsa. Mm-hmm. Really?
Yeah, it was a crazy session to watch her make demented, high-pitched, sort of feminine, sort of disgusting noises for that character. Apart from the lead characters, that was one of my favorite sessions, was creating all the creature sounds for...
Jesus, I hate the screams of that creature, but I love Mary Elizabeth McGlynn's work. Oh my God.
He's great.
What do I do now?
You embrace her and all of her mammary glands fully.
All right. And, well, in Resident Evil 5, your voice as Reynard Fisher was completely different from your voice now. Do you still remember what you did?
Oh yeah, I have a very nerdy voice in person. I can play with my voice on a mic, so yeah, he was quite a bit deeper than me.
But you still remember what you did as Reynard Fisher?
I don't remember many of the lines. I remember telling them to check their weapons. I remember screaming as my head got cut off. I think I might have also supplied the scream from the zombie who cut my head off as well. I think we had to slide me in there. So I'm both the sound of the big Hulk heaving up the axe and bringing it down, and the guy getting his head lopped off.
Jesus, but well, so you can't talk like Reynard Fisher right now.
Well, it won't sound this. I mean, it won't sound the same. We can do tricks with microphones, but I believe I was talking more like this. And I had a light accent too.
Exactly.
That's great.
Exactly, Reynard Fisher. You too, this way. I'm not as good as you, but...
Yeah, I remember. Here are your weapons. Check them. I remember saying that.
Yeah. Great.
And I remember saying,
You don't know what you're talking about. You're going to die. You're all going to hell.
You can all go to hell, right?
You can all go to hell. Exactly. I'm not as good as you, but I try.
Good times. It sounded good to me.
All right. Just translating to the people. Bom, a pergunta foi feita, que eu já até esqueci qual foi a pergunta, mas a gente vê de novo aqui. Foi... Ai, meu Deus, meu computador está falhando. Assim, como foi, né? O que ele esperava do trabalho com os recém-chegados na equipe de dublagem, né? Como os novos, né? Troy Baker, Christopher Emerson. E como foi trabalhar com os que já trabalhavam antes na franquia. E ele falou que já conhecia a maioria deles, né? Porque como ele é um ator, ele gosta de atuar também, ele gosta de trabalhar nisso, então ele sempre está em contato com muitos dubladores, né? E ele trabalha, né? E ele tem amigos também nesse... Mariueda, there. She's
Liam,
behind you.
You're back.
Hi. That was sweet.
Fun fact, Mari and I went to college together in New York City.
Really?
Yes, so we were old friends getting together when we started working on this game.
She's very, very sweet. We love her.
So do I. So everybody does.
Yeah. Então, desculpa, pessoal, é porque a Mari Ueda, que é nosso contato na Just Cause, nossa amiga na Just Cause, passou dando tchauzinho.
Lá atrás.
E aí eu comecei também a acenar, feito uma louca, mas tudo bem. Então, eu já até me embolei onde eu tava.
E ele faz parte
de um
grupo,
grupo,
assim,
exatamente,
né?
um círculo de dubladores. Então, foi uma alegria para ele poder trabalhar com gente que ele já conhecia e poder conhecer gente nova, se é que ele já não conhecia. E aí eu perguntei, né, se ele trabalhou também, que ele fez o Reynard Fisher no 5, que é aquele cara do turbante, né, vocês vão lembrar.
O primeiro personagem que aparece. Né?
Isso, e ele falou que fez o Reynard Fisher, fez também o barulho do machado, né, o grito que dá, né, na hora que o machado vai, né. E ele fez também zumbis no 6 e fez um dos sobreviventes no 6, né. E ele fez motion capture da Lepotitsa, que é aquela criatura horrenda que fica gritando e que eu fico irritada.
Isso aí.
E eu fico atirando nela. E quem fez a voz dela foi a maravilhosa da Mary Elizabeth McGlynn. Gente, eu adoro o trabalho dela. Eu babo no trabalho dela, ela é incrível. E eu odeio esse grito, agora eu vou ter que engolir, vou ter que gostar desse grito, porque é Mary Elizabeth.
Ele fez um mocap.
Ele fez um mocap.
Peço pra ele fazer de novo ali que ele tava fazendo.
Oh, please, can you reproduce again Lepotitsa for us?
Okay, let me see. All right, so I'm going to go a little bit lower. I'm going to have to do some power squats here so I can stay on camera, but it was a lot of this.
I'll make the sound for you. For Resident Evil 5, have you done any motion capture?
No, not that time. On 5, motion capture was underway before I even knew the project existed. So when they contacted me, they had wrapped most, or maybe they're halfway through motion capture, and they just said, "Okay, I'm winded from doing those squats. We need a voice director to come in." But I think from working together on that game and on future games, they could see the benefit of having me involved earlier. And I had casting suggestions that time too. I'm thinking part of the reason Roger came in as Chris Redfield. And I think Capcom, just as I totally respect their artistic endeavors that they do, I think they came to sort of value my opinion. So I came in a lot earlier on 6 than I did on 5.
Yeah, well, DC Douglas, he's a good friend of ours. He's one of the most contributors as a voiceover actor to Resident Evil database. He's always recording stuff for us. He's great. And we did an interview. Yeah, we did an interview with him last year, a very special interview in video. He and his staff recorded, and he mentioned you. He said, you created that phrase, that sentence, "You'll give me an egg."
I created it?
Yeah.
That was in the script. I mean, I remember finding that line in the script that day and going, "What is this? What do they need eggs for?" That was Cap. I mean, like, "I need an egg" is one of our joke lines to this day. When I see Roger or when I see DC, usually one of us says, "I need an egg."
Yeah.
And how was it to work with both Roger and DC Douglas in Resident Evil 5? Because they are awesome.
They're both really, I like working with talented actors. My favorites are the ones who make me laugh a lot, and those guys fit the bill. They're both, aside from the Resident Evil stuff, you have to have seen some of the stuff DC has done online. He's a funny guy, and Roger is a troublemaker. So But they're also extremely skillful on the microphone and great actors. So we could take time to yuck it up because I knew that once we got serious that they would hit it hard.
And, well, since we are speaking about Resident Evil 5, we have to speak about Albert Wesker. How was it to kill Albert Wesker in Resident Evil 5? How was it to direct that?
Hello?
Hi.
Wow. It's Helena's fault. It's Helena's fault.
Helena's fault, yeah.
Helena's fault.
I think we are back.
Okay, here.
Helena's fault.
Helena's fault.
Yeah, so I was asking you, how was it to kill Albert Wesker in Resident Evil 5, since we were speaking about Resident Evil 5, and how was it to direct that final scene of Albert Wesker?
Well, he had it coming, so good that he did. Although, you know, it's still fantasy. I mean, I guess he could come back. No one has said that to me, but in the back of my head, in the bottom of my heart, I hope that he crawls out of the grave and returns. That was a rough day. I mean, video games aren't what they used to be 15 years ago. For a huge percentage of games these days, you are doing a lot of yelling. And there was a lot of yelling in that scene, and everything had, for matching, again, ADR, we had to match the mocap scenes or the rendered scenes that they had animated from that mocap. DC had to hit the timing, so Wesker was extending his arm and his tentacle out to the sky, and then clearly whipping his hand back at a specific moment. The dialogue had to be Taylor spoken to match that. So we did not get that in one take. We didn't get it in a million takes, but I know it was rough on DC. But he slogged through, and he was a trooper. And his performance in that is brilliant.
Yeah, he's just great. Bom, traduzindo rapidamente para o pessoal, né?
Tem que dar uma acelerada. Né?
Temos mesmo. Deixa só eu lembrar qual foi a pergunta que eu fiz. Eu já até esqueci. Ah, sim, eu tinha perguntado. A gente falou da Mari, aí. Eu já esqueci tudo. Eu já esqueci, gente. Mas enfim, eu perguntei pra ele como foi trabalhar, né, com o Roger Craig Smith e com o DC. Ah, lembrei! Do ovo.
Da cena do...
Isso. Lembrei. Eu perguntei pra ele como foi, né, fazer a cena do... que o DC, na época da entrevista, falou que foi ele que criou a frase, né, "You'll give me an egg". E ele falou que é uma brincadeira entre eles, né, que agora toda vez que eles se encontram, "I need an egg, you give me an egg", esse tipo de coisa. E aí eu perguntei, né, já que a gente estava falando de Resident Evil 5, como foi matar o Wesker, né, como foi aquela cena, né, e ele falou que ele espera ainda que o Wesker saia do túmulo e volte para a série, saia da tumba, mas que ele falou que foi muito difícil, teve muito grito e que o DC tinha que, né, combinar, né, a cena, né, com a voz, né, dele. Então, por exemplo, o Wesker levantava o braço, ele tinha que levantar junto, né, aquela coisa, né, fazer o mesmo movimento. Tudo. Isso, exatamente. Então, olha o trabalhão que eles têm, hein? Fica a dica aí, gente. Alright, lots of questions.
In 10 minutes.
Yeah.
You bring it on. We can go through them all.
Director Smiley from USA is asking if you are Team Chris or Team Leon.
Oh boy, probably Team Leon, and that's, I guess, probably my temperament is closer to Leon's, and I would probably behave more like Leon. I don't think I'd go on a big roid rage and smash everything in sight. I like Leon's a little cooler under pressure. I'd vote for him for president.
How was it to kill the president of the United States? Oh my God.
Well, you got to talk to him.
Can I ask you who did the voiceover work for President Adam Benford? I don't remember if his name was on the credits.
It was Michael Donovan.
Michael Donovan. All right. He did an amazing work.
Yes, he did.
Yeah,
he did. The motion capture actor for that was Richard Epcar, who's another great voice actor and actor. Although I just thought that we needed a slightly older voice than Epcar has. Epcar has a very mighty, strong voice. Voices demons and Bateau from Ghost in the Shell, if you remember that. And Donovan Broad, just great character to the role.
Alright. Bom, aí eu perguntei para ele agora se uma pergunta do Director Smiley dos Estados Unidos, se ele é Team Chris ou Team Leon, se ele gosta mais do Chris ou do Leon. E ele falou que ele seria mais Leon, porque ele agiria mais como Leon e que ele votaria até no Leon como presidente. E aí eu brinquei, né? Perguntei quem que era o dublador do Adam Benford. E ele falou que foi o Michael Donovan. E quem foi o motion capture foi o Richard Epcar. É isso aí. Epcar, yeah. Jessica Pinheiro is asking, well, she said, she's seen your t-shirt from Street Fighter.
This?
Yeah. Is it?
This is from an much older game called Karateka, or Karateka. I'm not sure how you pronounce it. It was an old karate game on computers before Nintendo even.
Oh, she's asking if you are a fan of the Street Fighter franchise too, and well, how was it to work with Ruben Langdon, since he is also from Resident Evil and Street Fighter?
Oh, Ruben's from a million things. Ruben is great. Ruben's a great friend of mine. I met him on Resident Evil 5, Just Cause. Just Cause is Ruben Langdon. And he's also Dante from Devil May Cry. He's in a million things. He's in Scott Pilgrim vs. the World, in a great on-camera role. And I love Ruben. I love just hanging out with Ruben. He has a lot of... he's a smart guy, a lot of interesting ideas. I was a big Street Fighter fan back in the day. I own it now, but I don't spend a lot of time learning the moves or anything or getting into it. Between work and chasing two kids, I don't have as much time to game as I'd like. But it's great that my friends are Chun-Li and Ken and you and Travis is Guile. I know most of the current cast of Street Fighter. I still get a kick out of it that, anytime I voice a role, like if I voiced Transformers, I voiced X-Men, and every time I do it, I have a little, nerdgasm and go, ooh. If 10-year-old Liam knew what he'd be doing as an adult, if someone told him, he wouldn't have believed it.
Yeah, that's funny. And well, since we are speaking about games, do you have any other favorite franchises? Except from Capcom franchises like I don't know, Silent Hill, for example.
So you mean outside of Capcom's?
Yeah,
I do like Capcom games. I always loved Mega Man growing up, but outside of Capcom, I'm a big fan of all the Metal Gear, and I liked Castlevania a lot over the years. I like BioShock now. I'm really liking, speaking of zombies, I'm really liking the Walking Dead game right now. Mass Effect, great acting in Mass Effect. I listen to that play that just to get to the acting. Uncharted is fantastic. A lot. I wish, really I have a stack of about 20 games that sits in my TV armoire, and I just every once in a while I look at them and shed a tear because I know that I'm not going to be able to get through half of them.
Alright. Bom, a pergunta era
sad but true.
Story of our lives, right? Bom, a Gegé tinha perguntado pra ele se ele era fã de Street Fighter, e por causa da camiseta dele, na verdade a camiseta dele não é de Street Fighter, é de um jogo chamado Karateka.
Parece o Ryu, mas
mas não é o Ryu. Parece, mas não é. E ele falou que ele sempre gostou, né, os favoritos dele, Chun-Li, Ken, né, ele conhece todos e tal. Trabalhar com o Ruben Langdon, né, que foi muito legal. Ele conheceu o Ruben Langdon no 5, né, que ele falou que é muito bom trabalhar com ele, que ele é um cara muito inteligente, que tem ideias muito boas. E aí eu perguntei se tem outras séries que ele joga, né, que ele gosta também. Ele falou que Metal Gear, Mass Effect, BioShock, enfim, todas as que vocês escutaram ele falando.
Mais uma pilha.
E ele falou que tem uma pilha lá que ele sabe que infelizmente ele não vai conseguir jogar metade da pilha de jogos que ele tem. Mas que sad but true. Sad but true. Yeah.
Mas essa última parte das perguntas é interessante.
Yeah, okay. Well, Jessica is also asking about the games market here in Brazil. She said it's been growing a lot. We even have subtitles in our language, and
I mean, Resident Evil specifically is growing in Brazil.
Yeah, it's huge in Brazil. It's very huge. For example, we had a convention here this last weekend, and we could reunite more than 20 cosplayers of Resident Evil.
No, complete global saturation, man.
Yeah. Complete global saturation. Yeah. It was great. It was huge. So Resident Evil was very popular here. And she's asking, what message do you leave to the Resident Evil fans that dream about the games dubbed in our language? And what do you think we can expect from Capcom regarding to it? And if you know anything about it, if they have plans to make games dubbed in Portuguese.
Oh, dubbed. Well, here's what I can tell you. I don't know anything. I'm far down the chain of command, so everything is very new to me. And if I did know something and said it, a sniper bullet would come through that door, go straight through my head and down into the floor there, and I'd be out. So
you are the third.
In this moment of time, I can honestly say I don't know anything. Even though I'm director Liam and actor Liam, I'm still Liam, the Resident Evil fan, and I'm just as excited to see what's going to happen next in the series. I'm excited to play 6. I haven't gotten to 6. I haven't had a chance to play it yet. So I am at this point. I'll know a little ahead of time for you guys about stuff, but at this point, I'm in the same position as you. I just want more.
All right. Bom, a gente já tinha perguntado para ele o que ele podia dizer para os fãs, né, que querem a dublagem em português aqui. Eu falei para ele dos mais de 20 cosplayers que a gente conseguiu reunir lá na BGS, né, de Resident Evil, e ele falou que foi uma complete global saturation. E ele falou que, na verdade, ele não sabe ainda o que a gente pode esperar de dublagem em português aqui para nosso idioma. E se ele soubesse, mesma coisa do Christopher Emerson, ia passar uma bala na cabeça dele, né, atravessar.
É o terceiro que fala isso.
Yeah, he's the third one that says that he's going to be killed by a bullet like Christopher Emerson did, and who else? I think it was Troy Baker.
It's not just for Capcom games. I mean, all the companies that we work for, we sign NDAs, and they protect this stuff pretty fiercely, and rightly so. If stuff gets out, it spoils the story for the fans later, and they want to keep us guessing. So, and I'm sorry, there's a sniper standing 8 feet away from me. So, what am I gonna do?
I believe Mari is pointing a gun to you right now.
Didn't say anything.
No, she's not. Stop killing me.
Aí volta que nem eu. Oh.
All right. Just a flesh wound. Okay.
All right. 2 more questions, okay?
Yeah.
All right. Director Smiley from USA is asking, would you bring Alison Kurt to LA to perform facial mocap voice acting in the studio? And also, why was Paul Mercier recast when he lives in LA?
For Paul, I don't know. I mean, I asked if we were going to use him again, and that's the inner workings of the machine, man. I don't know all the reasons, and I know Paul, and he's a good actor and a sweet man, and I would have loved to work with him again. And I'm sure I will work with him again in the future on something. But I don't, and that segues into Allison, because I don't know what they would do in the future. I mean, Allison's a great actress, and I really, I love what she's done with the role, and I would be happy to have her come down. Whether or not they're going to, I don't have any more information than you do, and I don't know how much she's going to factor into future stories either of them. I know nothing except for the plots and stories put directly in front of me to work on.
All right.
She's a lot of fun to work with. I have directed her over Skype, and it did fart out on us quite frequently. That set. Hello?
Hi.
Hello. What was the last thing you heard?
The last part was that you directed Alison Kurt.
Oh boy, I forget where I left off. I might be repeating myself, but I would love to have Allison down. She's really talented and funny, and I directed her over a Skype line, again, for Dark Side Chronicles, so it wasn't as challenging. And for Raccoon City. But it's not as challenging as the cutscenes that we did for 6. So again, that would be a Capcom call. I'd be happy to have her, but I don't know what their call would be.
Well, we don't have your video. Can you please turn it on again?
Oh, let me see here. Hold on a second.
Helena's fault.
She's
a mean girl. All right, now we're back.
Sorry, not my computer. It's a PC. I'm a Mac guy. I barely know what's going on in here. Hey, here I am.
Just translating quickly to the people. Bom, ele falou que sobre o Paul ele não sabe dizer. A pergunta era por que tiveram que escolher outra pessoa para fazer o papel do Leon, né, que era o Mercier que fazia. Ele falou que não sabe. E sobre a Alison Kurt, que foi a outra pergunta feita, né, se ele traria a Alison Kurt para fazer captura facial para Los Angeles, ele falou que com certeza adoraria trabalhar com ela de novo, que ela é super legal de trabalhar, super engraçada. Ele dirigiu ela via Skype, né, porque ela mora no Canadá, e que ela é ótima, mas que fica a cargo da Capcom, né? Leon, have you watched the movies with Mila Jovovich?
I haven't. I don't get out to the movies a lot. Most of my viewing is done at home because, again, we have the kids go down at 8, and we don't have a favorite babysitter or anything. So I only see maybe 3 or 4 pictures a year at the theater. I will definitely rent it because of, I love checking out all things Resident Evil, but I haven't seen it yet. Have you? How is it?
Well, we like it, but many people don't. So that's why we were asking you if you knew anything about the movies and
I know the canon characters that are in it, and I really am curious to see how they're portrayed in the movie. I think that's the biggest draw for me, is to see what Leon and Ada are like on camera, and Jill.
Well, you should see it. Well, Sienna Guillory does a wonderful work as Jill Valentine, and Lee Bingbing did an amazing Ada Wong. Kevin Durand as Barry Burton, and Ali Larter as Claire Redfield. Well, they are great. They are not totally loyal to the character of the game, but
right. The way I treat those movies is like they exist in an alternate universe.
Yeah.
Because I'm so attached to 5 and 6, and it's hard for me to conceive of Wesker being anything other than our visual plus DC Douglas's voice, or Chris Redfield being anything other than our visual and Roger's voice. The games, it's just my point of view, but they feel like canon to me, and the movies feel like sort of a riff on that. But I'm still extremely curious to see how they play out.
Yeah, that's exactly what they are. They are just I don't know, an alternative universe. That's exactly what they are. They are just a reference to they have a reference from the games, and that's all.
Yeah.
Bom, eu perguntei se ele tinha visto os filmes, né? Ele falou que não viu ainda, que tá curioso para ver a performance da Jill, da Ada, do Leon na tela, né? Em live action. E eu falei que eu perguntei a opinião dele, porque muita gente não gosta dos filmes, né? E ele falou que ele tá muito ligado com o 5 e com o 6. Então, por exemplo, ele vê o Wesker, ele não consegue imaginar o Wesker como outra pessoa que não seja DC Douglas. Né? E aquela visão já...
Se pra muito é difícil, você imagina pra quem dirige os
exatamente.
personagens.
Então, last question. Have you ever been in Brazil, or would you like to come here and come to a games convention here?
I've never been to Brazil. I'd certainly like to come to Brazil. I don't travel too much. I'm saying this about a week before I'm going to London. But as far as some of my actor counterparts, I only go to maybe 2 or 3 conventions a year, mostly because I like to stay with my family. But never say never, and I'd love to come to Brazil. Love to.
Yeah. Bom, perguntei para ele se ele ia gostar de vir para o Brasil. Ele falou que ele não viaja muito, ele vai para Londres agora na MCM Expo. Yeah, I know that. E ele disse que ele prefere fazer assim 3 ou 4 convenções por ano para poder ficar perto da família, né? Mas que ele adoraria vir para o Brasil. Ok, Liam, so you're just...
Na hora que a gente for finalizar, eu só quero fazer um agradecimento para ele em português.
Aí
sim,
você passa.
É melhor do que eu ficar aqui formulando frases em inglês.
Tá bom. Então, so Liam, we are just finishing the interview. Could you please leave a message for all the fans of the Resident Evil franchise, all the fans of your work as the voiceover director in the Resident Evil franchise? You'll be on your own on the screen right now, and please leave your message to the fans.
Okay. To all of you loyal fans of Resident Evil, I'm as big a fan as you, and all the passion and love that you bring to playing the games we have baked into Resident Evil 6. Please play it, and it is definitely a ride. We decided to go big or go home, so I hope you guys enjoyed as much as we helped, as much as we enjoyed carving it out.
Okay. And
não, eu quero que você passe para ele o seguinte, que
he's going to make he wants to thank you, so I'm gonna translate to you because he's very insecure about his English. It's great, but he's insecure, so I'm gonna talk.
Oh, come on, Flag.
Yeah.
No worries.
Eu quero que o Liam saiba que ele e você, né, Liam, e o teu time aí de direção de dublagem, não só o Liam, como o Nori, o Ken, a Mari, o Ruben Landon, todos os dubladores. Eu quero um agradecimento muito especial para eles por eles proporcionarem isso para nós, fãs brasileiros, porque para todo mundo acho que sempre foi assim, mas para nós, especialmente que estamos longe do circuito ali de Estados Unidos, Londres, Japão e tal, Europa, pra gente eles eram só um monte de nomezinho nos créditos no fim do jogo, e eles passaram a ser pessoas de verdade, e isso para nós é muito importante. Eu quero que ele saiba disso num inglês perfeito, que você pode passar para ele.
Well, he said that he wants to thank you and all the staff who worked on the Resident Evil direction in all parts of the game, from the direction of the cinematics to the direction of the voiceover acting, to the direction of the game itself. That a few years ago you guys were just names on a screen, just coming up, going up as the credits, and we didn't have the opportunity to talk to you guys, to be with you guys and interview and talk to you and interact with all of you, like Ken O'Hara and Masanori and Mari and you and all the voiceover actors and actresses. So you can't imagine how important this is to us, to all of us, because we can't be there. We are totally outside of this circle. We are not in the USA. We are not from Europe. We are not from Japan. We are here in Brazil. We all love Resident Evil, but we are very, very we are far away from the circle of things happening. So we really want to thank you all, thank you, Liam, and thank you all for bringing this opportunity to us, for giving us this amazing opportunity.
Well, Monique and Flag and everyone in Brazil, let me just say that the passion that you guys consistently bring does not go unnoticed. We all talk about it. We're all pretty amazed at how strong the voice of Brazil is in their loyalty to Resident Evil. And thank you. Seriously.
Please.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. Well, it was a pleasure to have you, and thank you. We can't thank you enough. And thanks
likewise, I had fun.
And thank you to Just Cause Productions for the studio. They give us the opportunity to record the interview in their studio. Thanks for Liam for his time here with us. Thanks to Mari for setting up the interview. And thank you all who's watching. Thank you for playing.
Então que a gente agradece, que a gente espera manter contato.
So we hope we can keep in touch with you, Liam. It was a
pleasure.
Absolutely.
And you can find me on the interweb anytime. If you ever need an egg, just come find me.
Okay, you too. We have a few eggs here. Yeah. Not golden eggs. We have some brown eggs. Thank you. Have a great night. Have a great Resident Evil 6 night. And send our hug to Sam Riegel and Eden Riegel, please.
Will do.
Okay, so see you soon.
Make sure your gun is loaded, okay?
Okay. So, right. Bye-bye, Liam.
Thank you.
Bye-bye. Take care.
Thank you.
Woo!
Bom, pessoal, esse foi o Liam O'Brien nessa entrevista incrível que a gente fez com ele. A gente soube várias curiosidades de Resident Evil 6, né? Então, Resident Evil 6 e Resident Evil 5, né?
Eu ia até encerrar o programa já, mas...
Não, a gente tem alguns recados ainda para
e depois dessa... Queria só comentar uma coisa antes de qualquer outra. Eu percebi ali que a audiência do programa de hoje não foi tão forte na parte... Eu tenho certeza que vai acontecer como aconteceu no do Ruben Landon. O pessoal não conhecia muito ele, então... No dia ao vivo não foi tão grande a audiência. Hoje é o Resident Evil mais assistido do Resident Evil Tube. É do Ruben Landon. Eu tenho certeza que essa entrevista do Liam O'Brien vai estourar de visualizações lá, porque ao vivo talvez se fala Liam O'Brien, não é todo mundo que conhece.
Sim.
Mas ele é simplesmente o comando por trás de todas as vozes que a gente escuta no jogo. Então eu tenho certeza que a partir de agora todo mundo vai passar a conhecer ele, ainda vai assistir muito.
Esse trabalho incrível que ele faz também, né?
E um cara muito gente fina também, né? Como
sim.
todos eles que participaram.
Eu não estou com a peça aqui, mas será que dava tempo de eu ir buscar para mostrar pro pessoal o que a gente vai sortear logo mais?
Que peça? A gente fez tanto de sorteio já que... Ah, sim. Busca lá, tira o microfone e busca
Peraí.
lá. Peraí, eu vou me colocar todo na tela aqui agora. Olha!
Peraí que eu já vi.
Tá, qual o recado que eu vou dar então enquanto você vai pra lá?
Estúdio.
Estúdio, exatamente. Então é o seguinte. É muito estranho esse espaço vazio aqui do lado. Então, pessoal, é o seguinte, sobre o estúdio. esse provavelmente é o último programa que a gente está aqui nesse sofá vermelhão sedução que a Miss fala, com essa parede branca atrás aí. O estúdio está quase pronto. A partir de agora, a gente vai fazer algumas jogatinas de Resident Evil 6. Então, Resident Evil ao vivo vai demorar um pouquinho, talvez umas 2 ou 3 semanas para voltar. Talvez agora só em novembro. Provavelmente só em novembro. E a gente vai voltar em novembro, já no estúdio novo, com toda aquela melhoria que a gente prometeu já realmente para esse estúdio novo. Então, vai ter um fundo de cenário mais bacana, vai ter um som melhor, vai ter uma imagem provavelmente melhor por causa da iluminação que a gente vai colocar. Então, tá tudo... A gente ia estrear, a gente pensou até em estrear essa semana, mas nós pensamos, não, vamos fechar as entrevistas ao vivo do Resident Evil 6 com o Liam O'Brien, e a partir de novembro a gente vem com o estúdio novo. Então, é a última vez do Vermelhão Sedução aqui. A Red voltou com mais um
Ele
item
falou
de
muito
sorteio.
mal de mim?
Depois você vê na edição.
Tá bom.
Não, mas aí eu corto. Tá, teu
Bom,
microfone.
olha, peraí, deixa eu pôr, senão eu não consigo falar com vocês. Oh, meu Deus, tá complicado. Pessoal, é o seguinte. A gente queria saber quem tem. Põe na tela pra eu ver se dá.
Na tela? Tela.
Quem tem. Quem não tem ainda, né, na verdade. Isso aqui, vou até tampar minha cara. Vou ficar com cara de Slender. Aliás, o Slender, né, pegou um cartão nosso lá.
Inclusive tem foto na galeria da BGS, tem lá o Slender colocando o cartão do database no bolso.
Quem quer? Ó, tia Red tá gripada. Quem quer?
Esse é especial, hein? Veio direto do pessoal da Capcom.
Então, esse aqui, a Capcom nos cedeu pra gente sortear. Então, ó, um encarte aqui, ó, bonitinho, português, bem, tá? Pra 16 anos, né? Vamos dizer que a gente não fala da censura. Então, aguardem que logo, logo, a gente vai fazer uma promoção valendo essa belezinha aqui. Tá? Então, aguardem. Não deixem de participar também, eu devia ter pego outro item para mostrar, mas tudo bem, da promoção que a gente está fazendo em parceria com o pessoal do portal Game World e do site Herói, que é valendo 6 cópias no total da novelização de Resident Evil 5 Retribuição. Tá? Então, não deixem de participar. São 3 para o Facebook, 3 para o Twitter. Tá, o livro é bem legal, tá? A gente não teve tempo de ler inteiro, mas é bem legal mesmo. Infelizmente, a gente só tem cópia do Play 3 para sortear. Foi a cópia que eles conseguiram arrumar pra gente.
Inclusive, a gente tá até pensando em dar um Xbox 360 pro Brian no que vem. Aí a gente tem as duas oportunidades, porque hoje a gente busca mais material do Play 3, porque é o videogame que a gente tem.
Exatamente. Então, eu estou aqui, que nem aquelas moças, né? Pensando,
então,
né?
A GG falou ali no chat para eu responder a pergunta dela sobre o Resident Evil. Eu acho que era essa do estúdio, não era, GG? Se não for,
provavelmente.
Me lembro do que era. As nossas jogatinas vão ser a partir de agora com comentário. Aê, vocês vão escutar o Flag xingando todo mundo, a Red xingando todo mundo.
E uma coisa,
que beleza.
Em HD, meu
Sim,
bem.
em
Em HD, meu
A não
bem.
ser, só não vai ser em HD se a internet não deixar, tá? Porque para fazer um streaming em HD precisaria aí 10 MB de app. E hoje, até o momento, a gente não conseguiu achar nenhum servidor comum de internet que tenha 10 megas de app. 10 megas? Megas é muito cafona. Tipo megas, gigas, teras.
Você vai no mercado.
Mega. Tá, 10
notebook
megabytes.
de 500 gigas a partir de R$1.500.
Aí
só
fica
agora,
estranho.
hein? Nós temos 10 peças. Então, é isso aí.
Então, se a internet permitir, a gente vai fazer jogatinas em HD. Tá? Se ela não permitir, a gente vai fazer pelo menos em HQ ou SD, que é a nomenclatura. A gente chama HQ, mas a nomenclatura oficial é SD, né? Que é Standard Definition, que é 480p, resolução do Wii. Então, mais algum recado?
Acho que não.
Promoção.
Bom, agora a gente vai
ficar um tempo sem Resident TV, porque não um tempo assim, meu Deus do céu, eles nunca mais vão aparecer. Não, calma. Agora, esse mês a gente não vai mais ter nenhuma edição, e quando a gente voltar, a gente já vai estar de estúdio novo, né? Em novembro a gente já vai estar de estúdio novo. Então, aguardem que aí a gente volta com força total, estúdio novo e tudo mais, né?
O meu Kozak perguntou se HC... Não, HC é Hospital das Clínicas. HB é Hot Buttered. A Miss falou certo. Ó, HQ, High Definition, High Quality. High Definition HD, High Quality HQ. SD, Standard Definition.
Isso aí. Então, pessoal...
Tem uma pergunta. Quem
diga,
tem uma pergunta? Rank é nervoso. Diga aí, Rank.
Rank é tenso. Rank é sinistro. Rank é muito louco. Diga, rapaz.
Estamos esperando para finalizar o programa. Algum comentário sobre o 6 enquanto isso?
Jogue.
Quero falar de novo. Tá, eu vou falar de novo. A campanha do Chris é muito boa. A gente começou a jogar essa semana de novo no veterano agora. É sacanagem. É muito boa. Carga emocional muito boa.
Aliás, né? Vocês estão jogando bastante Resident Evil 6. Vão jogando, né? Vão jogando porque quando a gente for fazer streaming, a gente quer jogar online com vocês. Então, vão se preparando aí, hein? Vamos lá. Gente, já tô com sono, né?
Bom, não vai vir a pergunta, então a gente vai...
a GG perguntou se a gente vai fazer mais programas sobre Resident Evil 6. Vamos, em breve a gente vai fazer.
A pergunta dele era se você gostaria de ir no parque temático de Resident Evil. Nós gostaríamos e vamos, só não sabemos como ainda.
Mas vamos, a gente vai dar um jeito de ir.
Nós vamos.
Com certeza, nossa, seria um sonho, né? Bem que no Brasil podia ter essas coisas, né?
Sim.
É isso aí.
Então, você estava falando sobre programas especiais Resident Evil 6.
Sim, em breve
acho que deve ter pelo menos mais uns 2 programas com análise aí mais aprofundada, com spoilers imensos e totais, assim, porque, também quem não jogar até o fim de novembro, aí paciência, né? Quem for esperar a versão PC, com certeza já viu no YouTube ou no próprio Resident Evil os spoilers. Então, a partir do mês que vem a gente vai fazer programas, talvez 2, né?
E sem tag de spoiler.
Sem tag de spoiler, vai ser spoiler desde o início.
Sem o.
Sem. Esse aí. E a gente vai analisar a fundo Resident Evil 6.
É isso aí.
Um último agradecimento. Fábio, Denis, Yuri, Jean, quem mais que estava lá? Svensson e quem mais?
Aquela mocinha que eu não lembro.
Aquela moça japonesa lá que a gente não lembra o nome.
E a mocinha do stand também, que foi tão simpática e deixou a gente filmar lá dentro. Sim,
aquela também. Valeu, todos vocês trataram a gente muito bem, a gente ficou muito feliz por poder fazer a cobertura de Resident Evil na BGS. A gente entrou no stand da Capcom, filmou, conversou muito com o pessoal lá que agora está trabalhando aqui no Brasil, representando a Capcom.
Muito bem.
Eles muito bem, por sinal. Eles estão com muitas ideias, com Capcom Community versão brasileira, com acesso direto à Capcom Community Central. É um esquema muito bacana que a gente não vai dar detalhes para não estragar a surpresa deles, mas eles devem anunciar o pacote completo oficial muito em breve, né?
Hoje já anunciaram capcommunity.com.br.
Eles anunciaram, né? Mas eles devem explicar como vai funcionar essa interatividade entre a Capcom Community BR e a Capcom Community Mundial, né? Eles falaram para nós em detalhes lá como é que vai funcionar. Uma ideia muito boa, muito bacana. E muito obrigado por vocês terem dado todo o suporte para nós lá, para a gente poder cobrir Resident Evil com total liberdade lá na BGS.
Isso aí, quero agradecer também o pessoal da equipe da BGS também, a Mariana Ramalho, que é assessora de imprensa, o Marcelo Tavares, que foi o criador, né, da BGS, super bacanas com a gente, sempre dando maior apoio, sempre dando maior suporte pra gente no que a gente precisasse, e a gente se sentiu muito honrado de poder entrar lá, né, na feira e poder fazer a cobertura.
E um alô também pro pessoal da Play TV,
Baixa Aqui
Sim.
Jogos, UOL Jogos, e teve mais um que a gente conversou bastante na frente do stand da Capcom, que eu não lembro de que veículo ele era. Mas enfim.
Era muita gente.
Era muita
Tech
gente. Tech Tudo. Boa, Tech Tudo.
É isso aí.
Inclusive foi ele ou foi o cara da UOL Jogos que perguntou como que eu consigo um moletom desse? Foi no dia que eu tava com o moletom da Ivy University lá e tal. Se a gente conseguir mais, a gente avisa.
Isso aí.
É isso aí.
Isso aí, pessoal. Então, um abraço pra todo mundo. Boa noite. E fiquem ligados na gente que a gente tem muita coisa boa por vir aí.
Lá, 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 lá. Essa hora eu vou colocar aquela musiquinha de... É isso aí, chega de bobagem. Então...
Sabe qual que devia ter colocado? Keep it coming, love, keep it coming, love.
Da cobertura lá do... Madrugadas no Amaury Júnior.
BGS no Amaury Júnior. Não, parei.
Sim,
Coloca
um grande
nesse
abraço
momento.
também pros cosplayers lá.
Sim, todos.
Todos vieram
incríveis.
conversar com a gente, tiraram foto, muito bacana,
É isso
muito
aí,
legal.
A gente se vê em outros eventos.
Sim,
Esperem,
cara,
aguardem.
a gente tá esquematizando um negócio bem bacana para vocês, para nós. A Red vai de Alissa do Outbreak e o Flag vai de David. A gente só tá tentando se convencer disso ainda.
Não, eu já tô falando que eu vou ser contra todas as tendências, eu vou de Alice.
Alice?
No País das Maravilhas.
Então eu vou de David mesmo assim. Então tá bom, chega, né? Estamos falando muita bobagem já.
Tchau,
Valeu,
pessoal.
até mais.
Resident Evil Database, the right place for true Resident Evil fans.